Hi, I'm Carlton G, and I'm having a ministry, starting a ministry here. But this ministry is a different business model. I have a business that's supporting the ministry, okay? So I don't ask for donations, I don't take any donations. It's no secret that 80% of the donations that Christian ministries get uh, come from people below the poverty line or at the poverty line and below. So I wanted a different business model. And one of the school I'm with promotes being self-supporting ministries. And so I am a self-supporting ministry. I don't have a Shopify button on my thing. I don't have a Cash App. Um, I'm not 501c3 because I'm not a nonprofit. Okay, this ministry is a part of my business. So see, my business would be here and ministry's down here. Okay, as opposed to the ministry being up here and me trying to do all these tax-free things. And that's because I was really spoken to by my family about being that kind of a ministry. And that it takes really a person that's pretty strong and full of integrity to manage those kind of ministries where you have cash flow from innocent people. And I didn't want to be in that position. I also didn't want anyone to be able to say anything about me and tell me how to run my ministry because they were a big donator. So I don't take donations or anything. But what I do is be self-supporting, and I do that by writing some books. Now here is writing the Gospels harmoniously in cursive. I don't know if you know, but cursive is making a comeback. It is required in high school in 23 states for graduation. It achieves a unique reading circuit in the brain that stimulates memory and growth. It helps with coordination. There are now hobby groups in writing and reading cursive. There are apps for assisting in deciphering cursive, and books are being written in cursive to assist you in your learning cursive. My book is 103 pages, and the reason I wrote in cursive is I was writing down scriptures and not being able to remember them, or reading them and not being able to remember them. So I decided to write it down in cursive, and at this point I've written down the whole New Testament, part of the Old Testament. I'm working on Genesis right now, and found that I was able to retain a lot more. Okay, now I had a very entertaining lifestyle, so it took a little bit to get my mind where I could focus. But if you haven't read the Gospels and read them harmoniously, that's when you're reading them all four together in the sequence of events. So it's like reading reports from somebody on an accident or something. You're going to get different views, and people saw different stuff. But it's going to enlighten you, and you're going to find out hardly anybody in your church has read it. As I've asked around, people talk about reading the four Gospels in harmony, but very few have actually done it. Okay? Usually I will find maybe two or three in a church that have actually done it, and maybe one in a church that's actually written them down. And I haven't looked to see who did it in cursive or not, but I chose to do it in cursive um, because I'm a fan of cursive, and so I've done that. So here's my book. It's in cursive, and it's got 103 pages, and it tells you a little bit about the. I don't know if you can see it here. See, it's in cursive there, and it tells you a little bit about the history of the New Testament and how it kind of came about. Okay, see, it's all in cursive. Oh yeah, and a basic background of the New Testament, and then we go to the days. And the thing is, you can write in cursive. You can write down the whole New Testament, and 100 days or less. Okay, so here's how I've got it. Now, if you can see here, that light's a little bit in the way. I've got it color coded, what you would write each time, and I give you instructions how to do that. Matthew in black, Luke's in red, John's in blue, and Mark's in green. And in that way, when you're writing them in different colors, it's easier to follow what you're writing. And I tell you in there how to get a big notebook to do it, and how to write a day at a time. You can write more in a day at a time if you want. But it takes about an hour or so to write a day's worth. And you don't got to write it. Just read it if you just want to read it. But this is how I support my ministry. And there's the barcode number, but I don't know if that's backwards. All right, because I don't know that much about how all this stuff works. But that's my book. It's at the Amazon. Writing the Gospels Harmoniously in Cursive by me, Carlton Lee Good Jr. And it comes in Spanish. See, So that says Writing the Gospels Harmoniously in Cursive by Carlton Liga Jr. in Spanish. And so it's the same thing. It's written in cursive as well. And it has the colored books in there so you know how to, where you're at in it. And so I really would encourage you to do it. It's a good devotional. It'll help children with writing their cursive. And that's how this memory is supported. I think these are going for about $10, right under $10, $9.99 or something. And that's how my ministry is supported by people buying my books and stuff like that. Now, as far as the books that I've written, perhaps one of the most interesting ones is Philemon. And in Philemon, Paul has helped a runaway slave who has befriended him and really been good to him and trustworthy. And so Paul is writing to his owner to take him back, and if he's done anything to be charged for it, to charge Paul for it. So that's really standing up for a guy. I might help you out and give you a good word, but I don't know if I'd say, hey, and if so-and-so owes you any money, take it from me. I'll pay you up. All right? So Paul's really putting it in for this guy. But what's interesting is most of the people I've asked in church, no one has ever known who the slave was. They always think the slave was Philemon. And Philemon wasn't the slave. He was the slave owner. The slave's name was Onesimus. So Onesimus was the slave, not Philemon. So that's interesting things you find out and notice when you write the Bible as opposed to reading it. And interesting thing, like Mark has two endings. And at first it looked really, how could that be? But now they've looked into it a lot, and they think when John was out on the island of Patmos that he refined Mark, the ending. So he didn't take anything out. Mark had sloppy writing, and he had better writing abilities and grammatical skills, so he rewrote the ending. And things like that you would not know until you got into it a little bit. And I have a little bit of information in there about the New Testament, but not a whole bunch. Not like a workbook or a study book, not college level, but certainly for the casual reader. So once again, that's Writing the Gospels Harmoniously in Cursive, and this is the English version, and it'll get you through the Gospels in 100 days or less, reading or writing, and it's on the Amazon. And then they'll have the Spanish version. That's also will get you through the Gospels in 100 days or less. And it's on the Amazon. Both by Carlton Liga Jr. And this is the only way I ask for money and ask for support, because that's how I support this ministry. I don't take donations, and I don't. My business supports my ministry as opposed to my ministry supporting me. I am not 501c3. When I get to that point, I'll be an LLC, just a regular business that pays regular taxes. So, okay. Also on Amazon, but I haven't got them yet, is Reading the Gospels Harmoniously, which is a little bit different, but I haven't got my copies yet, but it's for sale on Amazon as well. So go buy a copy for you and your mom and everybody you know. All right. God bless you guys. I love you in Christ. Bye.